It's just another video game podcast. What episode is this? This is 22, right? Yeah, because
22.
We did the 21 last time, making the stupid jokes for 21.
It's all downhill from here.
I am so unprepared. I don't know what week this is for. We're just going to roll with it right now. It is for the week of February 10th to February 17th. There you go. I'm your host, Jeremy. Joining me...
You look so happy.
So
joyful.
As soon as we hit that record button, all the worries of my day just melt away.
You're just full of spunk.
Well, I'll get that out later.
Enough pandering, Jeremy.
That was Brian.
Hi.
Hi, Brian.
Hi.
We are short one guy today, but in his placement, in Tyler's place, Dean has joined us yet again.
I'm going to wave again.
Yeah,
Hi.
he's going to wave again. So like I said, Tyler's not joining us today, so we're going to spend the entire...
Happy birthday to him.
Yeah, happy birthday to him, by the way. And for his birthday, and since he's not here, we're going to talk about Kingdom Hearts for the entire episode.
Yes.
I don't think it's a very good series.
Highly
overrated. The music, bleh.
I've never really wanted to play it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I played Chain of Memories, and someone said that's really indicative of the entire series.
It is basically all you would need to play.
Okay, yeah.
And only maybe the first half.
I stopped in the fourth area. You know, I had a cool Simba card.
Oh yeah,
that was pretty sweet.
That's I think that's the second strongest card in the game.
Yeah, probably. But I've heard that they're all like that, and so I've just never wanted to play them.
Wait, you guys are talking about the weird Game Boy Advance beat 'em up Kingdom Hearts, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
with the cards,
so.
The classic.
Through.
Are you really?
Huh?
Are you really?
Yes, I am. That's the extent of my knowledge.
Because I played
Hearts.
it once, and that's all I know about Kingdom Hearts.
That's about it. I didn't have a Sony system, so
that's incredible.
All kidding aside, Dean, what have you been playing recently?
Well, Resident Evil 7.
Yes.
I finished it.
Yes.
And I'm guessing you did too.
I did finish it. Yep.
It's not hard to finish because it is pretty short. I think I'm going to get that under 4-hour run achievement. I started my second run, and I really want to talk about the story. Can we please talk about the story?
Okay, we'll give it 5 minutes. If you don't want any spoilers for it, jump ahead 5 minutes from now.
Okay, good.
Oh wait, well Brian, we're excluding Brian, I guess, in this.
Brian doesn't count because I feel like he won't play it.
I want to.
We can play it later if you want.
I want to beat it, especially if it's 10 hours long.
Can you move around any? I mean, I think
I
could easily move around.
You know what? I can leave. You guys can talk about this. It's fine.
The whole thing about E001 really bothers me. The twist at the end. Okay, I'm just gonna stop.
Well, no. We can talk about that. I had issues with it too because it had when you get to the ship, which the ship was shown in trailers, so that's not a spoiler. Not going into exactly what it is, and you see E001. I hate that trope in horror stuff of the way that it is. I mean, they even showed it there. The little girl, sort of thing, and. Honestly, it's really confusing. That aspect of it, I think, is kind of confusing in the end because then there's a whole issue of time frame.
Yes, that's my problem because they present E001 as if it was the first bioweapon, the first outbreak, and the first outbreak would have had to have happened in 1995 or 1994, I think. Something like that. 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And the little girl, she's got the problem where she becomes the old lady, and
okay. Keep going.
I'm sorry, I can't help it.
Okay, we did our spoiler. Do you want to step out, Brian?
Sure.
If you don't want to get spoiled, we tried hard.
Just go.
Eventually,
for it.
we're gonna be better at talking about spoilers.
Guys.
Okay. Now full on RE7 spoilers.
So she's.
That's a dog.
She's only 2 years old. She aged all that time within 2 years, and the game takes place in 2017, so she was born in 14 or 15. So what first outbreak is she?
Yeah, the only thing that I could think of is that her being in the old woman was more of an experimental thing. Either that or rapid aging.
No, it was rapid aging.
Did they bring on that? Okay, so I didn't.
Story.
Okay, so yeah, that makes
there's a segment that I didn't remember at first, or that I glossed over, where they talked about how she was starting to get gray hairs and things like that.
Yeah, I skipped a lot. A lot of times when I saw like a bunch of text, it was just sort of like, I don't care. I'm having fun.
Okay, so if you can't clarify this for me, I'm ready to move on and just say that was friggin' awesome.
I do want to say that I think it was really cool that when you start, because I did a second playthrough. Well, not all the way. I did, because I've already sold the game. I figured I want to play some more games before the Switch comes out. I don't keep games, but starting over near the very beginning, you find little photographs. There's a photograph of the old woman on the back. It says E001.
Yeah.
And when you first see that, it doesn't mean anything.
Yes.
But after you go through everything and you go through it again, and you're just like...
And that's the beauty of the game.
That's really cool.
That's the beauty of the game, is that you are thrown into a total mystery, and all the stuff is just scattered about. It is so good. But the last thing I want to say about the game is on my second playthrough, I got through the whole Mia sequence. It wasn't scary anymore. I was immune. But, was it John Baker? Yeah. As soon as I encountered Jack Baker, as soon as I encountered him again... It was scary as hell, and I upped it one more difficulty level.
So what did you do it on first?
I did it on easy.
So did I. Exactly.
Which you have to do in Resident Evil, because you always get some kind of award for doing each level on each difficulty.
It's a staircase. You go up each step.
Yes.
Sort of thing. Yeah. And no, I had the same thing. Played through it all the way on easy. And then when I started the second playthrough, I bumped it up. I was like, okay, we're doing normal. I understand this. And then when you see Jack and he starts running at you, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yes, and the car sequence in the garage was different for me this time.
Really? It was the same for me, but I did it real quick. Like, I knew what to do when I got in there. Which, by the way, garage battle, awesome.
Oh, it is awesome.
And when the cop shows up, and it's just like, okay, this
dude can't do his job properly.
Yeah.
He deserved to die.
This dude's going to die, but then the way he dies is... It was just like, oh man, right in front of you.
The first time I completed the sequence on easy, I was killed the first time. Then I found out about the keys, ran over, got the keys, got in the car, ran over Jack, and he was dead. Mm-hmm. When I did it on normal, I ran him over, and his lifeless body was sitting there. I felt like I was done. And then he jumped on the car, ripped the top off, grabs the wheel, and says, "Let's go for a ride, Ethan." That did not happen to me the first time.
That happened to me the first time. Maybe I just didn't run him over enough.
So I wish that had happened, because I was scared.
Still spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, okay, let's stop talking about
I do want to say, I want to talk about the one last spoiler, the big spoiler at the very, very end. I do want to say this part. When the guy shows up to save you, and he takes his mask off, and he goes, spoiler, I'm Redfield. I was just like, ugh.
I liked it because of the whole timeline thing. I know what year it took place in, and I know I played as Chris Redfield in 2009 in Resident Evil 5. Okay. So this has got to be his brother. He's considerably younger.
Okay, see, I didn't even think about that. I just assumed we're playing a whole new game. The faces aren't going to look the same. The body types are going to be different. He said Redfield. I was just sort of like, okay, great.
So this is the last thing I'm going to say about it, and this is about the way the characters look. They look like real people. Mm-hmm. Chris Redfield in Resident Evil 5 and Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil 6, they look like superheroes.
Yes.
And they're perfect human beings. The women are all perfect human beings.
Yes.
Mia is so hot to me in this game, just because she is just a real woman. And so you
would love playing it in VR then. Because that was the one thing when I did play it at the beginning of the VR. It was just like, okay, this is like I'm falling around a real woman right now. Like, this is what it feels like. It feels weird, but it does have that sort of thing where it's like, yes, she is an attractive woman. She is designed in a way that she looks realistic.
This is a woman I can date. That's what I like. But that's the only argument for that being Chris Redfield at the end, is that they're trying to capture more human, lifelike realism, and maybe that's what the personification of Chris Redfield would be in this new, more realistic universe.
I don't go much for fan service, that kind of fan service in games. The only time I'm ever for that is when it's Zelda. Any other kind of fan service that they do with... If they have any game in a series, even if I really like the series... There's points where they're gonna say, "Oh, I'm so and so from this game." They just say their name, and sometimes they put it in there just to be like, "Hey, you like that game, right?" And I'm just like, "Ugh!" It disgusts me.
It was there to advance the story, I think, for the second game and the DLC. So I'm happy about that.
All right, we're done.
Weird. It was a strange done. I don't know.
Yeah, weird done. You wrote weird done.
It was supposed to be "we are," and then it autocorrected
the
to
Devil's
"weird."
Two-Way.
Yeah, that's what it did.
It was weird.
What else have you been
I'm
playing, Dean?
I just started playing a new game 2.5 hours ago.
Okay, good.
I am Setsuna.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, and I already have some blanket opinions about this game based on the journalistic narrative that's out there.
So the upcoming Switch launch title, I Am Setsuna.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know it was coming out for Switch.
Yep.
I got it for it was on sale. Square's doing a 75% off weekend on Steam.
You can get it on PC, you can get it on Vita, you can get it on PS4. I don't think you can get it on Xbox. So yeah, I mean it's a JRPG. Why would any Xbox players want to play that?
Yeah, I mean unless they have like a Call of Duty Sensuda edition. Setsuna, sorry. So the thing about this game is the dialogue is that this is like Chrono Trigger. If you liked Chrono Trigger, you will like Setsuna.
That's right.
That's what everyone seems to. I heard like the battle system is similar to it as well.
Yes, it is, and this is my pet peeve with the game already. I literally played this game for an hour with my son, and he's wrapped up in it. He's reading all the dialogue, and he thinks it's great. That's awesome.
But to be young and just think anything that's
to
like
not be jaded
a little complex,
by this $20 that I just spent on this game.
Yeah.
So the first problem with the game is it does that tutorial thing where it just throws everything at you all at once. You got to read paragraphs of stuff about ATB gauges and things that I already know from other JRPGs. So I skipped most of it, but it was.
Does it do anything different? Anything new? Anything that stood out?
Okay, so it is really like a clone mechanically of Chrono Trigger.
I mean, I think that's good.
Well, okay. All right.
In terms of the gameplay.
So here's how Chrono Trigger does it. And this is a game that I played at least 6 times. So you start off, you can only do a couple things, and then next thing you know, you're getting party members, you're doing double text.
Yes.
You're getting more party members, you're doing triple text. And it trickles in, and it is so cool. It's perfectly done, and by the time you're doing triple text, you kind of know what elements go with which and what things you can do, and you can plan out a battle because of that. I played this game for an hour, hour and a half at most, and I'm already doing double text. And one of them is called X-Strike, which I clearly recall as Frog and Chrono's double tech that they do. And there's no foreshadowing to it or anything. It's just, here's a tech. It's called tech. And then you pick double strike. So, like a key element that they could give to you as a gift later, they just shit it all over the game. So
it's weird that, this is published by Square Enix.
It does not have the polish of a Square game.
But it's still weird that it's a Square Enix game that because this isn't done by. Well, that was like old school Dream Team.
Yeah, that was
Chrono Trigger.
Yeah,
that was.
They got everybody.
Yeah, so I'd be interested to see if there's anybody that worked on Chrono Trigger that worked on it.
Pretty game. It's very pretty to look at, and the music is very nice. But it doesn't take long to see how low budget the game is. Like, there's not polish everywhere, and the whole soundtrack's just piano. There's no orchestration or arrangements or anything.
Would this be a good game to play on a flight? Or maybe...
Oh, yeah.
It's in a van while you're driving to go-karting?
It seems like it's going to be a very easy game. Is this from the Switch commercial?
Yes.
Is that the joke? Yeah, you could definitely play it by yourself. While you're in this van with all your friends who want to play Mario Kart, if you don't,
they're just like, God, let's play Mario Kart. No, I gotta finish this boss.
You don't understand. I just got quintuple text. So
gotta let the cat in. Just like
right.
every episode.
We got some soda on your rug there.
You
and I.
Party foul.
Well, that'll be fine.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's your house, bro.
It's the game room.
So yeah, that's all I have to say about Setsuna.
Anything else?
So they kind of tried to give you a little nostalgia blowjob, and they use their teeth on.
Well, they don't even milk it. They don't even try to draw the parallel. Like you would have to have played Chrono Trigger to recognize the X strike and the double tech, because they don't even label it as a double tech.
So it was kind of just like sudden. We're like, oh, we're doing this now.
Yeah,
okay.
They tell
you
you
gotta
all
give me
this
a
stuff
second.
at the beginning, and you don't have time to grok any of it, and then you're just doing double text. They don't explain it. So there you go.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'll be interested, once you get through it, to see how you feel about it.
I will finish it. It's casual and easy enough. I think I'm going to enjoy it over the Steam Link on the couch on nights where I just want to fall asleep, because that's what it's going to do to me. So yeah, that's it. That's it for me.
That's all. Brian, what about you?
I've been playing Fire Emblem.
Some more heroes?
Not as much though. I've been playing it like very casually.
I'm at the verge. I'm nearing that cliff of just like being done with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
Especially the glitch that we were both having.
Yeah, so like when I don't have, I've got quick breaks, and that's when I try and get a little Fire Emblem, a few games in. This would happen with Mario Run too. Like I would need, was it Mario Run? Oh no, like Pokemon would take forever to load. I had to re-download Fire Emblem Heroes multiple times, and I'm like, all right, I got a little bit of time. Let's go. And then 3 minutes killed, and I kind of don't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
Or
I was having this issue daily for like 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
And I randomly just happened to look in my storage because I got the pop-up saying you're out of space because my podcast, something like that.
Yeah.
So I went through and I was going to
everything.
delete some stuff, and I see that file that says 74 meg, and I'm like, that game is not 74 megs.
Yeah.
I was like, that's an install file. So the game is regularly sort of deleting itself and re-downloading it whenever you like start the app up.
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with that. Hopefully they fix that, because that is going. If that keeps happening, that's going to get me closer to that edge, and I'm just going to jump off and press that delete key. Delete circle.
I'm sure they wouldn't appreciate the bandwidth costs of everyone re-downloading a thing over and over again. So it seemed like that's something they'd fix. I mean, I like it. It's got all of the, like, I don't know, RPG itches. It's complex enough. I've had fun playing it, and it's fun to play like just here and there.
Sure.
I'm not playing it like hardcore all the time, my spare time. But it got me to go ahead and start playing XCOM.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I was looking for another RTS like that I can actually progress in.
So you're talking about the first XCOM, is that Enemy Unknown?
Well,
or
the
XCOM
first
reboot?
Yes, the reboot. I'm apparently into reboots lately.
I thought XCOM was a PC game.
Yes, it is an old PC game.
So now is it on phones?
No,
Yes,
this is
there's a phone version.
Oh, there is? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the one I'm talking about was on the 360, and then there was a sequel that was out last year?
Yeah, I
To
can't
that
remember
one?
the name.
Or 2 years ago, I can't remember.
I think it was 2 years ago on PC. I think it just came out on console or will be out soon on console. They're doing a console version of it.
That game is fun.
Yeah?
I like that game a lot. Because, yeah, I can actually get somewhere. Because in Fire Emblem, I'm just kind of crawling, and I'm running out of... Like, if you've already beaten a level, the XP is just severely cut.
Right.
And so I'm trying to build up low-level characters, and I'm just having to, like, slog through it. And I still got plenty of orbs to get. I haven't gone all the way through all the modes yet. So there's still some life in it. I can play it here and there. But I got tired of blowing all those good levels on one guy that I was trying to bring up. So now I've got a party with like 3 guys that I'm trying to level up. And
Sure.
I'm just doing that slowly every day. But XCOM that game is fun. That game is part RTS, part Fallout Shelter. Have you played it?
I haven't. It's one, I've got it. I think I got it for, it was a free game at some point or something like that. And I've got it on one of my accounts. Either Xbox or PlayStation. I can't remember which one I got it on. I'm very familiar with it. It's just, I don't know. It never... I was never in the right headspace to want to play that kind of game
Yeah.
at the time. I know it's really good.
Yeah, I've always wanted to play it. It comes highly recommended from a few friends. I think Giant Bomb gave it Game of the Year when it came out. But yeah, all this RTSing on my phone, I just like, I need to play that game. Now is as good a time as any.
Speaking of RTSing on a phone, has anybody thought about?
Oh wait, no, not RTS. Tactical or turn-based.
Is it like a tower defense?
It's turn-based.
Game,
No,
yeah,
no,
it's not RTS.
RTS.
Is real-time strategy.
Yeah, this is a turn-based. Sorry. I've been saying that wrong the entire time we've been talking about.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
turn-based.
even turn-based. Since you mentioned Fire Emblem, does anyone feel like Sega's leaving a lot of money on the table by not doing a Shining Force?
I mean, I'd like to see it, but I don't know if they're leaving a lot of money on the table.
Yeah, because I don't think Shining Force... I know this is going to be hard for you to get your head around, but not everybody's familiar with the Sega IPs.
Not everyone was familiar with Fire Emblem until 10 years ago.
That's true. Yeah, so I think in order for a Shining Force Mobile to be truly successful in the way that Fire Emblem is, they would need to do Shining Force Awakening.
But I'd play that, though. I'd play some Shining Force.
Yeah.
But
some more XCOM.
So you are fighting aliens. They are showing up slowly and infiltrating the planet, and I love it. These are some alien ass aliens. Like these are like 50s paranoia aliens.
But they're not green, right? They're gray.
No, they're like grays.
Yeah.
And and then there's all they got the little guys with the big eyes, and then they have these Slender Man looking dudes.
Oh, those are like Close Encounters.
Yeah.
The aliens that come out of the ship at the end of Close Encounters.
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about?
It's totally that.
They got the tiny little baby ones and then the super long arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally that.
It's South Park Alien, too. It's like that.
Basically, yeah. And I love that they're just blatantly going for that style. But there's 4 different classes your guys unlock. I played through the game like the first 3 hours of the game twice because I lost a save file for whatever reason, and I'm really pissed off.
Hardcore.
Yeah, that's where I give up.
I really want to play it, and it's really good. And I had 2 Irish guys just randomly on my team, and I had pimped them out. They were pretty badass, and I lost.
So
them.
I know in the newest XCOM you can like sort of create your own characters. Can you do that in this one?
Or you can customize them.
Okay.
And then as they level up, you can change their names.
Okay.
They all get an automatic nickname at a certain rank. So like my first guy is a heavy, and they call him. Well, they don't call him. His generated nickname is Crater.
So it's just it's sort of random.
Yeah.
Okay.
My South African
that,
sniper is Zeno. I guess I could probably change them myself. I had my Irish guys all decked out in like weird hair and
so,
shit.
but there's no like voice with it, right? It is just the text, or is there any?
They
voice
talk.
work
Yeah,
that
there's
says
and there's some
the
really.
names?
Oh, I don't know if they say that. They don't say their names to each other.
Okay, not even the nicknames.
No.
Oh, okay.
That would be cool.
I like when games do that, where they at least give you that option.
It looks like there's not a lot of horsepower in the game for like a 2012 release. The cutscenes are like, they don't look bad, but
I'm fairly certain this XCOM was made with consoles in mind. So I think this was made to also run on a 360.
Yeah,
I think that's when they made that. It was like at the time they couldn't make it a PC powerhouse, and then kind of scale down to consoles. They tried to make it all equal between all of them.
Yeah, it works well as a console. You hear a lot of times of games that try and come over to console, but they can't. But it works.
Strategy in general
Yeah.
is always hard to do. That's why you have very few strategy games on consoles.
It's really intuitive, and you have like 4 to 6 people on the field at any one time, and all have different skills, or like there's a little skill tree for each of them. It's very basic. It's either or every time they level up. But it's fun. I really like it. And then the other portion of it is you have an underground base that you're building, and you get bonuses if you stack, the same thing next to each other. Like laboratories will boost your research speed because the bad guys aren't everywhere. This isn't a campaign. You're having to hunt them down as they show up. And they drop into the world, and you're just waiting. You're sitting there waiting, and while that's happening, you have research projects. Engineering is building stuff. Satellites are looking around for UFOs to shoot down.
Is there like a time lapse in these? Like you have days to do something?
You just like you go and hit the button and the world starts spinning around and all of your stuff starts counting down. And
so it's like Heroes of Might and Magic.
Perhaps I never played any of those, but there were lots of them. I remember.
I played. I
need to do that game in space.
Dark Messiah. I played Dark Messiah
40K.
of Might and Magic. I like that one. That was the first person action adventure version of it. It's pretty good. Anyway.
Oh no. Yeah. It's just I can't see because the game does a good job of sometimes I really want something to pop up like I want to kill something. I want to try this new guy out. But then sometimes I've got a bunch of shit stacked and I was like no, come on. I need to get this research so that I can actually build this gun or get more scientists.
I think you're selling me on this. This sounds really
it's
good.
Pretty cool.
I was literally just looking at screenshots on my Steam
app. I saw you were on the Steam. I was like
let's see what this is
buy
about.
It right now?
And then one of the other mechanics is that all the countries in the world have like a paranoia level or a panic level. So you have to keep them balanced because it will say like, oh my god, there are 3 simultaneous attacks going on right now. We as a team can only make it to 1. And you have to try and balance everyone's freak out levels. And that's when you get satellites because that'll make them happy and they'll pay you because then you're just monitoring their country at all times.
This is like Civ in the middle of the game.
It's 2 separate things that actually work really well together. It's cool. I wish there was more... I wish I could go further underground so I could have more space because I'm already like trying to figure out what I'm going to do because you have a limited amount of space to build your stuff, to build your like laboratories and reactors and things like that. So I'm not sure. Like you have to plan it out and like that makes me happy, but I also just want like complete reckless abandon and I can do however much crap I want. But I think I'm going to have to start planning out exactly what I need.
I think I need to find out what game I have or what system I have this game on. I need to download it.
It's pretty cool,
and that will eventually get me a step closer to actually playing it.
Let me know if you do start playing it because then I will try and play as much as I can or however much you're doing so that we can talk about it. But I really like it. I thought there was a third game, but I'm drawing a blank on it. So.
All right. For me, where are my notes? First one I've been playing is Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
Yeah.
This is a walking simulator.
Is this the one where it sort of looks like it's just polygons with no textures?
No.
Oh, never mind.
Nope. This is
That's right, though. That's okay.
This is a walking simulator. It's by the Chinese Room. They made Dear Esther, which was a big indie game.
I'm familiar with that game.
I'm a sucker for these kind of games. Like I like little indie games that just do weird little stories.
Can you power walk?
You kind of can. What you do is you're walking. I'll just say this. I hate the term walking simulator because you're not actually simulating walking.
I'm picturing a windbreaker.
Yeah, exactly.
Enshrouding a grandmother.
It would be like
a shopping mall.
It would be like game terms. Yeah, I'm surprised someone hasn't done that
Old ladies
word.
in swishy pants.
Yeah, if you look on Steam, there is like Walking Simulator 2016.
Now this is a VR title right here. Your grandma, you're walking through the mall. You gotta get to Ellis Ayres.
You just hear the windbreak.
Faster than Gladys because Gladys is being a bitch today.
Oh,
you're a genius.
There we go.
But Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. It's a game where you show up in this little European town, and everybody is gone. And
Way to spoil it, Jeremy.
it's like,
Do I need to leave the room?
It was such a vague title.
You could have told me to leave again.
But you get to this town, and you're trying to figure out what's going on, and there's this weird ball of light that's just flying around the town, and it's almost like a bird sort of thing, like the way it moves around. You don't know what it's doing, but when you get near it, might like do a little thing that drops this little almost beacon in a way. And when you get near it, it replays sort of it's almost like a radio drama.
Mm-hmm.
It plays like the audio of these people of this town before they all disappeared. It's like their last days.
Yeah.
And there's a story that you can discover going through, and you can miss parts of it. You can jump ahead in the story. You can go to a part where this thing just happened with this dude, where it's just like, okay, earlier this guy was talking to this girl, and they're talking about this research that they were doing, and the guy like accidentally said that he loves the girl or something like that. But then it's like later on you jump to a thing where it's like, apparently maybe they were dating at some point, and then things fell through, and everyone's talking about it.
You know, but then there's their fight,
but there's a lot more to
Peggy, and everyone knows Peggy's a tramp.
Probably my favorite part about it, and it's not just because of the guy's name. There is a preacher or someone there of the local church, and his name is Jeremy, and I inadvertently was following his story. I didn't mean to, but because you can't see who you're about to. You're walking around in different places, and then suddenly a scene starts wherever you're at. And I ended up following his story a little bit there. And I'm not a religious person, but near the end,
Jeremy
was. And I get to a part. I get up to the church, and the way he's talking is just sort of like he was like the last one, as far as he could tell. Everyone else just started dying. He was the last one.
Okay.
So he's making his way to his church, and then you can like look around the world and you can see remnants of them. And it's actually really cool if you listen to the story and then you see little bits of. It's like when you're walking into a house that, you know, clearly people were in here, and you can kind of piece together a story just by looking at how disheveled it is. And you can find like a lot of like bloody napkins and stuff like that of people, because that's how people were dying. It was just like one of the signs was that they were bleeding from their nose. So when you go to a house and you
God
look
works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, but it was really intense, like his last moments, and it was like that was one of those things. I still haven't finished it. The game's really slow. I can't play without my headphones because if you go up to a door and it's locked, it makes a knocking noise and it freaks my dogs out. So I can't play without headphones on.
So do you think that you were inadvertently following his story because of... Did it like lead you there by what he was talking about?
No, because there's no
drop about like where he was going to go next.
No,
it was kind of like, oh hey, that's that spot over there. Or...
Because here's the thing: you get introduced from the beginning. You get introduced to like 5 different people, and like I said, I inadvertently followed Jeremy's path. I could have inadvertently followed any one of their paths. It is laid out like a normal town. It isn't like go down this road.
Right.
One low road will take you all the way to the end. Like I was constantly, and I have this problem. I have a tendency to want to 100% games. I rarely do, but whenever I'm playing a game, I get this idea in my head that I'm like, I'm going to take this path here, and then I'm going to come back for this and do that. I started to do that with Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, but then it got to the point where I'm like, this is way too open, and the point I don't think is to see everything. Yeah. I think at some point I'm going to get to an end, and I'm going to have the story that I was told. And I like the way they do that. I think it's a really cool game. It's slow. If you don't like walking simulators, you walk very slow in this game. You can hold down the right trigger to kind of speed up a little bit, but you have to hold it for a little while. You got to gain momentum. That's not a key part of the game.
I can't wait to get the PC version and hold down the shift key. It's going to be exhilarating.
It's on PC.
No, that's what I'm saying. I get to hold down the shift key. I just love it.
Good looking game though. Like it looks like an old European town. I believe it's set in. I mean, looking at the technology, it looks like it's set maybe early '90s. It's not a city. It is a little town. You can find like the phone booths, and they're in like being an American, a big old American. There's times where I'm like, why is this phone booth here? And it's like, oh, well, because in a city where you would have a phone booth, you'd have it on a corner somewhere, you'd have it like that. Like in the 90s when we had phone booths. We don't have it anymore. But you'll just find a phone booth with just like off of a dirt path. But you can find like, there is dirt path that you can tell that's just people walked back and forth from that phone. and it's made in a way that it's like it's really not. It's not nice looking. You can just see that it's like, well, we need a community phone somewhere, and people go around here. So the local government was like, we'll install one right here, and it's got a really cool vibe to it. It is. You got to be open to those kind of games, though. You're not going to find a lot of gameplay. It really is. I think calling it a radio drama is the best way to describe it.
Okay.
Really like it though. Another game I've been playing was I didn't play for very long. The Swindle. This is an indie game. I play a lot of indie games. It is a side-scrolling roguelike stealth game.
Yeah, and you try not to alert any of the authorities.
Yeah, it's a steampunk sort of aesthetic. It all looks kind of hand-drawn.
Yeah.
It's really hard, and it has more to do with how the game is really cool. I want to love it. The controls are bad.
Yeah.
There were a lot of times that if I'm playing a game and it's hard, if the controls are good, I can deal with the difficulty because I'm like, there's a lot of times if something happens, I'm like, I deserve that. I screwed up there. There were a number of times in the Swindle where I felt cheated.
The screenshots that I'm looking at of the Swindle make me think of Stealth Bastard.
Yeah, it's similar to Stealth Bastard.
Like Stealth
Bastard?
Bastard?
It's similar to that. You have 100 days to beat the game.
Mm-hmm.
Every heist is a day. If you die, that's a day. If you don't get everything and you have to escape, that's a day. You have 100 days to get through 6 levels. And you take your money back to your base, and you can use that money to level up your stats that make your thief better. The longer a single thief stays alive, they get multipliers. Mm-hmm. So you do a good heist, and this guy has survived 3 heists. He gets a 1.3 boost, sort of thing, and it's really cool. But then I would die 4 times in a row because the controls aren't very good in terms of there's wall climbing and wall jumping, but it doesn't ever really make sense. There's like a stickiness to it that I can just sit there and be like, I can run through this at one time, do a double jump onto this ledge to get up there, but then for whatever reason I come back here to a similar ledge and I try doing a double jump and it just keeps sliding off and he can't grab onto it. It's not consistent enough. If it's sad because I really like this game. When I first started
playing
playing
aesthetic to it.
Yeah. When I first started playing it and I got the hook of it and I was like, okay, I get 100 days and I can go back and I can level up these things and I got everything. I was like, ooh, this is really cool. And there was a weekend that I was really into it. I say weekend, it was a Saturday that I was really into it. I played it for like maybe 3 hours straight. But then I got to that point where I died like 3-4 times in a row and I felt cheated 3 or 4 times in a row for those. And I'm like, well, that's it. I'm not going to fight this game. I'm not, there's plenty of other games.
The Dark Souls of side scrollers.
No, see, I like Dark Souls. I can get down with Dark Souls. Dark Souls is fair. It really is. Like the controls, the game runs slow enough, and the way it controls is deliberate, and you move about the same way as every other enemy moves in Dark Souls. It's a fair game. Swindle isn't, and that's the problem. It was a free game, so I wasn't out any money on that. Since we are getting close to the Switch, though, I did start up my GameFly subscription again. So I'm going to start getting a bunch of games coming through. I'm going to put every Switch game that comes out.
Did you just say GameFly?
Yeah, I use GameFly. I like GameFly.
I didn't. Well, no, I'm not.
Don't badmouth GameFly.
I'm not attacking you for being
get off this
faithful
podcast.
GameFly subscriber. I'm surprised that they're in business. I didn't know that was still a thing.
Oh yeah,
they're really good.
I mean, I guess if you can go to Family Video.
We've got a Family Video. I like having the queue, and it's $14 a month for the one. Here's a little fucking. Yeah, I need to get GameFly as an ad supporter on here. That's what I need.
Well, they will support video game podcasts.
No, it's like $14 a month. You get one game out at a time. And the way that I play games, I don't keep games, so I'll buy a game, sell it, and usually I'll end up losing $15 to $30 per game. So
can you with GameFly? Can you keep the game as long as you want?
Yeah. As long as you're still paying that
That's
fee.
not bad. I don't know. No. As long as you have time to beat a game.
Are they advertising us right now?
No, they should be. Anyway, the first game that I got bringing back my subscription was Doom.
I saw that.
Oh
Yes.
man, I am so late to the party. Doom is so good,
Isn't it?
I'm so glad you like it.
And it was so quick for me to like be just blown away by like, oh my god, this is so good. Like you start the game off. I mean, it starts off so aggressive. It is literally
perfect.
just like you wake up, grab a gun, kill these things right now. And
That's all I want from every game.
It's so good. It's so good.
And what really got me was I had a falling out of first-person shooters. I used to play a lot of them early days of 360. I don't play the Call of Duties anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about Battlefield anymore. I don't really care about really any first-person shooters unless it's got some kind of RPG twist to it, like Deus Ex or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
When I started up Doom, I immediately wanted to reload. Firing my gun, it was an instinct to hit square to reload. I'm like, oh, that doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. No. Why do I stop trying to reload? You clearly don't have to reload. Why do you always have to reload in games? This is awesome. I don't have to worry about reloading in games. And then I would be like moving around, and then I would just be like clicking in the left stick to run. And I'm like, no, I'm already going really fast. Why do I keep thinking I need to automatically run?
You need to go back to the cradle, Jeremy.
And it's just like
it feels like Doom. Like when you're playing it, it's just like
honestly,
I felt like I was playing Doom.
I think it feels more like
mouse
Quake.
look. Well, okay, right.
But
I didn't play as much Quake as I did Doom.
Because old school Doom was fast for the time, but if you look back on it now, I still think it may still be a little faster than your average shooter, but it's not as fast as new Doom.
I never made that connection. Like when I think of Quake, I think of really, really fast. And when I think of Doom, 2016 Doom, it is perfectly paced. It's not fast or slow. People call it fast-paced, and I didn't feel like it was fast.
I mean, if you've only been playing like Painkiller or Serious Sam,
I love Serious Sam and Painkiller.
Yeah, Doom 16 isn't necessarily fast because it plays like the same way. Well, I say Quake because of the arenas, like when you get in areas. 3. Yeah, sure. I equate the new Doom to that because of the way that you get into areas and it is a battle arena. You have boost pads.
That is very fair. Yeah.
You do eventually get in the habit of wanting to double jump around enemies while you're shooting them. I've never felt like that was Doom. I think it's a great addition to what Doom is.
Oh, and Doom Guy, just because of the double jump and the way he climbs up on ledges, he is the baddest ass Doom Guy ever.
Yeah.
Who can do that so expertly, double jump and just no big deal.
Yeah, while holding this giant Gatling gun.
Yeah, like where did you put that for a second?
Yeah.
And then just it's amazing.
I just love the idea that he throws it up in the air, picks himself up, grabs it out of the air, something like that. Great game. So interesting thing that happened with it. In the new age of gaming, especially console gaming, when you get a game on disc and you come home and it's a brand new game and you're like, okay, I can't wait to play it, and you put that disc in your system, rarely can you ever just say play.
Yeah, that must suck.
And I put it in there, it does its install, I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. And then I go to start the game and it says like downloading update.
Yep.
40 gigs. And I'm like, well, okay, I'm going to make some dinner. I'm going to eat. I'm going to get my belly full before I jump into Doom so I don't want to stop, so I can just sit down and play for 2 hours straight. Make my dinner. I get back. It's halfway done.
It's 40 gigs.
It's still just like, well, that's the thing is I've got decent internet. If you put the PlayStation 4 into sleep mode, it downloads pretty quick that way. I do that. It's halfway done. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to play it without the updates. So you can say play it without updates. Mm-hmm. And starting that game up, first off, the menus look totally different than they do after the update. But there was a whole lot of screen tearing. There was a whole lot of what is it called? The textures loading in slow. Mm-hmm. I still love this game. Like, I was still just in love with this game. Typically in games, when they're screen tearing, I get so upset, and I'm like, I can't play this. This hurt my eyes. But here,
that
I was just sort of like...
before the update?
That was before the update.
Okay, so they fixed it.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. I'm playing on a PS4 Pro. It wasn't Pro optimized before the update. But yeah, I started the game up, screen tearing, looked really bad. Frame rate was still good, but that was at the cost of the screen tearing.
So if you can't optimize it for PS4 Pro, if you were to change your screen resolution on the PS4 down to 1080p, it probably would have disappeared.
No. I think that the base game, when it launched and released, that's what it was. Because on a PlayStation 4 Pro, even when you're playing a game that isn't PS4 Pro optimized, it plays it like it's playing a regular PS4.
Gotcha.
It doesn't fully utilize the extra RAM that's in there, or there's extra RAM and something else with it. But get the update. Menus change completely after I do the update. I'm like, oh, okay, this is weird. Start the game back up, and it's just like, it's buttery smooth, no issues.
Oh, it is the smoothest game ever. On PC, my experience, my day one experience was that was my last graphics card, which is a decent graphics card. I was getting 90 frames a second.
Nice.
I'm now getting 140 frames a second in that freaking game. It's unbelievably amazing.
That's just eye melting right there.
Like, oh, so good.
That's like when you stop playing, you kind of like move weird because you're just like, the world isn't. What? How many frames is this?
140?
Oh my gosh! The Vulkan
understand.
API in that game is like, at first when it launched, they didn't have the Vulkan patch ready yet. It was just OpenGL, which was still way more optimized than any game that I had. Like day one, I'm just consistently way over 60 with a mid-range $200 graphics card. And now I upgraded to like another $200-ish graphics card, and I'm at 140. It's amazing.
See, when you talk about things like that, me spending $400 on my PS4 Pro doesn't sound that bad.
No, yeah, it's expensive and cheap at the same time to game on PC.
Because the idea is you do that, but then you should be good for like 5-6 years.
Yeah, I was good with my old video card. I was riding the hype train on a new card, and I went and bought it.
Oh yeah, isn't it?
I didn't need it.
I used to do that when I was in PC. When I was really into PC gaming, the idea of getting a new graphics card to match some big game that you're excited for, where it's just sort of like, because I think I did it with Oblivion. Oblivion was one of the first ones that I was just like, I need to get this graphics card that they're recommending to play Oblivion because this looks insane.
Yeah.
But Doom I'm blown away because everything about it is perfect. It's exactly what it needs to be. It moves fast. The game fits with that fast movement. The upgrades for your weapons are super simple.
Yeah, simple. That's so important to me because I'm an idiot.
At first, when I saw like upgrades, I was like, "Oh, okay, okay, cool." I have to choose one of these. I was like, "Oh, am I going to set myself down an upgrade path?" It's like, no, you can just do them all eventually if you want.
So what did you think about the classic Doom level?
Oh God,
thrown in there,
just thrown in the middle of a regular level.
Like when you pull the lever and it makes that Doom music. No, I'm playing the game every once in a while. When I'm getting in that mode, I'm like, I'm singing to myself doing that.
Yeah.
And when you hear the door open, wow, and I'm just like, oh, this is amazing.
It was beautiful, man. Oh gosh.
And the thing is you had Wolfenstein did it for the last two Wolfensteins. There were not including the Old Blood, but New Order, and then whichever the one was before that. They both had old school Wolfenstein games. I love Wolfenstein too. Wolfenstein and Doom, great. Yeah, there was. You could only really find. I think you could only find one level in each of those.
Okay.
This one, it's like every level there's a secret retro level, and if you get them all, do you like put together?
I never got them all.
I know it's a menu selection. I gotta look at that. I gotta see if
I
it
did
like
not achieve my goals in that game. I beat it on Hurt Me Plenty, and then I tried to go back through and beat it on Nightmare, and I couldn't do it.
I'm gonna do one playthrough because I want to get. I'm probably gonna finish it all tomorrow. Send it back on GameFly. Get a new game. Loving it though. The what are they called? The skill challenges that you can do. They're insanely hard but super rewarding. that you get those little perks that you can hold like 3 different ones.
Oh, those. Yeah, I got through those.
I've only found one so far that was dead.
I got all of those actually.
Really?
But I didn't get all the Doom levels. But I gotta say props to Bethesda for their official Steam controller config. It's freaking amazing. I prefer to play with mouse and keyboard, but like I took some time and played it in the living room on the big TV, and they have an official config that's just better than anything I can make for any other game.
Nice.
It was so much like playing with keyboard and mouse.
I still stand by what I was saying when we were talking about Switch a few episodes back. You're not going to get this running on the Switch. Like, there's no way. There's no way
they could dumb it down enough and give you the experience.
I think that's going to be too much. I think it's just like, with the speed that's going to need to be at for what is basically a tablet.
I think they could do a 720p version that looks like shit.
I don't think they would do it.
Speaking of, I've got.
I always felt like
Doom on Super Nintendo around here somewhere.
Ooh,
what a great port! Doom was the first one that I played all the way through. So in my eyes, it was great.
Oh, for me, shareware. Doom was shareware. For the longest time, I only played the first like 2 levels of it.
Mm-hmm.
I just had no idea what the game was. Like I would just replay those levels over and over. And then years later, I went back and finally played through the whole game and Doom 2 and Doom 3.
Yeah, I played a lot of the shareware, and then eventually my dad got the whole thing, and I think he had it installed on like 5 different computers, like the one at home and like 4 on the ones at work. And then I was sitting there playing it, and my mom came around the corner at the end of a level and saw the percentage of killed, and it was like 9. Like, what's he playing? And he's like, Doom.
Oh, my grandpa, he sings at the choir for his church. Mm-hmm. And when Doom 3 came out, the computer I had at the time wasn't very good for it. I still got it, still bought it. It played horribly, but I was just happy to have it.
Well, that wasn't the computer, but go on.
Oh, you don't like it?
I've never really played it.
Oh, well then
I'm just going off
shelve whatever perceptions you have.
I mean, when you compare it to New Doom, it's a terrible game. But
no, they're different games.
They are. Like, yeah, it is a slow.
I don't want to compare them. Doom 3 is
Doom
really
3
great.
is a horror game.
Yeah, it is. It reminds me of Resident Evil 7. I mean, there's a lot of jump scares.
Yeah,
but it's still different.
Yeah,
my grandpa was also a bit of a tech head. He likes messing with computers.
Okay,
and at the time he had a very powerful computer. So he would ask me, what are some games? He wants to play some games on. He usually just likes messing with flight simulators and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, well, there's this new game called Doom. And it's like, at the time, it was the biggest, most graphically advanced game out there.
John Carmack, nutted all up in that.
Right. And so I was just like, there's this game. So I installed it on his computer, and he was playing around with it, and he never got past the opening. So to him, it was just a space station simulator.
Just a flashlight. It was a walking simulator.
Yeah, he didn't know anything about any hell stuff or anything like that. If he did, he would have been very upset, and he would have asked my parents, "Why are you letting me play this game?" So yeah, I thought that was hilarious. That he was just like, it's an interesting game. I'm not very far on it. I'm just sort of like walking around.
I got a
and it's like that's it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like I just wanted to put it on his computer to see it running well.
Yeah.
And it was just sort of like, yeah, there's this game, Grandpa. Just let me put it on here, and then you go do other stuff, and I'm just going to play this game.
So there is a Doom game that predates Doom 2016 that gives you the exact same feeling. Brutal Doom.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit. Brutal Doom. And it's the shitty campaign that it comes with is amazing.
I've heard about it. I haven't played it.
It is it is twice as fast, probably, as Doom 2016. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you kick down doors. Oh my god.
What's
it's not an official
Brutal Doom
game.
was like a modded version.
Okay. It was a mod, and then later they went and made their own WAD, so they had their own campaign for Brutal Doom, and it's brilliant.
Yeah. Either way, Doom, excellent game. I hate that I took so long to play it. But if I had played it when it came out, we wouldn't have talked about it on the podcast.
Well, what do you think about last time I was on here? I said that Doom is like Metroid Prime. Think about a boss battle. What do you think about that? Spider Demon. Did you get to the Spider Demon?
No, not yet.
Sorry.
I'm like halfway there. No, I mean the Spider Demon. That's kind of.
You can't spoil Doom.
Spider Demon.
No,
yeah.
No. I literally the Hell portal just openmed, so I think I'm like halfway through.
Oh, Hell is the best.
Hell's alright. I'm looking forward to it.
I just love Hell.
Yeah. This is one of the first games in a long time that I've fought sleep to keep playing. I've gotten to the point of being an old man where I'm just sort of like, I'm a little tired. I'm just going to go ahead and set this aside and go put my nightcap on and go to sleep. But this was one where I'm just sort of
Pour liquor on your head?
Yep.
That's what I got out of it.
Yeah, alright. I drink mine, but
How about we take a little break, guys?
Yeah.
When we get back, we're really just going to talk about Nintendo. This week has been kind of dry. Except for a few Nintendo things that I'm excited to talk about. Specifically Switch, Zelda stuff. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So we're going to take a quick break and we will be right back. We are back. Well, what are we talking about, guys?
Switch.
Dark. A lot of dark stuff.
A lot of darkness.
Yeah, stuff that's hush hush that we shouldn't be talking about.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't record it. We saved their ears from that.
Devil's three-way. So, some news, as I said before the break. There isn't a lot of non-Nintendo news. There's some stuff we don't want to get into. We don't care about that. It's not important.
We could trash on Activision and Call of Duty if we wanted to, because they said some stuff about that. And I don't know.
Oh yeah, there was that whole talk of. I mean, did they let some people go recently? Didn't they? Something like that?
Infinity Ward let some people go, and it sounds like they're gonna try and rethink Call of Duty.
Yeah, Activision made change. Activision lets people go all the time. Like, I don't think that's news. I feel bad for them. I know people. I have friends that work for Activision. As far as I know, they're still with the company, so they seem fine. But they own a lot of stuff. But Nintendo stuff to talk about. Some Switch-related things. Apparently, a Nintendo Switch is out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, media people have them for review. They got them. The embargo will probably be up a couple days before the system launches. So, they can't show too much right now.
But they're out there. Someone
on NeoGAF got one, not saying who they are, don't know if they're actually press. They don't seem to mind showing things off.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a game, it looks like, but they're just showing off the UI, user interface, for those that aren't aware of the term. Have you guys seen this?
The main menu.
Yeah. So from what I understand, what this person has said is they got it a couple weeks early. So this was like 2 days ago. I think they got their box or yesterday.
We'll say 2 weeks and 2 days early, basically.
Yeah. And what they're saying is they don't want to implicate the retailer because they're afraid that the retailer will get in trouble for, because the way the picture that this person is painting is that somebody made a mistake in the warehouse and shipped it early, and there's a pile of them, which is hard to believe because if they are there, I feel like they would be quarantined in some way.
Mm-hmm.
As our resident Amazon warehouse,
we don't have any of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
we're too far.
Familiar with that kind of stuff.
I would say we're too far from the street date.
Yeah,
for this to be a store in Chinatown that got it early, or someone that messed up in some retail space.
Well,
I don't think they're in.
To be fair, it doesn't seem like Amazon has any kind of preferential treatment over retailers like Best Buy and Target.
Mm.
So it seems like they have less Switches than GameStop, Target, and Best Buy.
Didn't Amazon cancel some pre-orders?
I don't know. I haven't heard that.
I know GameStop had to cancel some of their online pre-orders.
They gave out too many.
Yeah, they gave out too many on their website.
Mm-hmm.
The allocated number for the stores, from what I've heard, is solid.
Yeah.
But online, there were some issues there. I got mine through Best Buy, but mine's being sent to a store. I check on it. once a week.
Yeah.
Just to be sure everything still seems fine.
But there are a couple things going on that makes this NeoGAF story or leak or whatever you want to call it seem even more legit. I don't know if you guys saw the video that went up today. I'm going to try and find the video on my phone, but they're calling it World's First Nintendo Switch Unboxing.
Yeah, I saw
and this
that.
small-time channel, they don't have a lot of subs. They got in contact with the NeoGAF user, and they let them unbox it. So,
well, I will say, I do know one of the embargoes with the Switch that Nintendo put out is no unboxing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, IGN showed the system outside of the box, and then they had some other outlets that were showing it in the box, but part of the embargo is that you cannot show it being unboxed.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to pause real quick. I want to see this video. Alright, so we had a little problem there. Summarize it for us, Dean.
yeah, we couldn't find the video, but anyway, the video I watched, it was called First Ever Nintendo Switch Unboxing. The channel owner said they got in contact with the NeoGAF user. The NeoGAF user, they must be close to each other somehow, let them document the unboxing of the Switch, which had been unboxed before. So I guess he packaged it back up, let them take the box.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of red tape, like on the side of it, like it looks like that they taped it back up or something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's about it. And so we got to see all the pieces, all the individually wrapped pieces come out of the box, and then see the unit come on and see the start sequence and everything, and that's really about it.
Yeah, so we've seen the user interface. We've seen it's very simple. It looks like setting up anything else.
It is
nowadays.
so polished. So when you're going through the menus, my favorite part about this whole story is seeing the advance, because every time you go deeper into a menu setting, it's like da-da, da-da,
Yeah.
da-da, and the sound just makes me happy. It is so polished.
I was gonna say, like,
I've
the just the sound. I don't know.
I just want to hold it and press buttons. And
I know, like, I feel
make
like
my own song with it.
I'm just getting more and more excited because I just like it's such Nintendo ass shit. Just the way it sounds.
Yeah, I've been
and
meaning to bring it
progresses.
up in previous episodes. I'm excited to hear the music that they've
Ooh.
made for the system.
Oh yeah, like
Because,
the menu music.
Like the menu music, the new shop music. Because I remember when I got the Wii, and I would just sit on like the home menu and stuff like that, and just like the sounds and stuff. It was just a nice thing to have on there. The Wii U, when you start it up and just sitting there, it's just got that sound to it. It was just great just to have on the background.
Touches that you don't even have to have, they put there, and it's so good.
There's no music in the PlayStation store. There's no music in the Xbox Marketplace.
No.
There's gonna be music in the eShop, and it's gonna be a catchy little jingle.
Oh, and it's
you can
so
listen
good.
to over and over and
Yes,
over again.
and I'm gonna find
sick.
remixes of it on Bandcamp.
And even if I don't buy anything, sometimes I'll just go to the shop and just
the old
window shop, just
Mhm.
hear the music and relax.
Yeah, I used to listen to that the Wii shop music all the time. I must have heard that Meme Maker channel song a million times.
Yeah. So speaking of Mii's, we do know that in one of the videos they were real quick about it, but you can set it. You can create a Mii on there.
Same.
I think it's more. I think there's more to it. I know you can make poses with them.
Oh,
Because you know how on Xbox you can
Mii's
create
are so
your...
dumb. I love them.
Yeah. You know how on Xbox you can make an avatar, and then you can use that avatar and you can pose them and you can make your gamer tag icon.
Okay, yeah.
You're going to be able to do that with the Switch.
All right.
You're going to be able to create a Mii. You can put it in a pose. You can change the color in the background. You can make that your icon.
Do they have fingers?
No.
Because I'd just be grabbing myself and flipping the bird, and that's how I roll.
Along with that, you're given a number of options to choose your icon. All different Nintendo things. There's a Metroid one on there.
Mm?
You know,
Of course.
taken from the fan favorite Metroid Federation Force.
Oh well, never mind.
So,
of course.
yeah. So what I'm hoping here is that you can upload your own avatar and personalize
No.
your account. Please,
No.
Nintendo.
No.
That's not how this works.
No, that's not. That is not how the most.
How tall do
customization
the
you're
walls
gonna-
in your garden need to be?
So, from the things that I've heard with the making your Mii's, is you're given a lot more freedom with your Mii's on how to create them. They're not as tied to an account like they were with the Wii U. Where, like, to make a proper account on the Wii U, you had to make a Mii, I think. Like, there was something about it.
Yeah.
Like, you had to make a Mii and you had to tie your Mii to the account.
I think you can change it, though. But
I think you could change it, but there was always just this weird... There was like these hard connections that you had to make to things.
Yeah, but the
weird.
question here is, when you're playing with friends, are you going to be able to have your account information saved to your Joy-Cons?
No, I don't think they're going to have that.
That's such a killer feature.
No, because that would have been.
I want to come over and I want to have my account on my Joy-Cons.
I want to tie it to an amiibo.
Not
have it to be the amiibo.
Yeah.
And like, I want a. Give me an amiibo that, like, I don't know, it's an N64 amiibo, and it's like a ultra amiibo that you can hold a bunch of data on, that I can just be like, this is my account.
Yeah.
And it ties in all these different saves for different games. So where I can go to someone and be like, here we go.
I would go for that too. I mean, the thing is, I want to, if I play Mario Kart with friends and I get like a badass track time, I want that on my machine.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's what's going to happen. From now on, they expect you to take your Switch with you. You're going to be playing with your friends, and they're going to have their Switches. I'm so looking forward to doing these podcasts. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be bringing my Switch with me every time.
Yeah.
We're probably not going to get around to making podcasts because we're just going to be playing Switch.
So that's fine. I'm down with that.
I'll just hit record, and then we're just going to play Switch.
Just have the webcam
going. That's what this podcast will become.
Yeah.
As long as I can sign in, I want to be able to, if I don't have my Switch with me, which I don't have one pre-ordered anyway right now, but when I do have one, I want to be able to play with someone else's Joy-Cons and have some kind of access to my account.
Now, real quick, you did bring on that. Say within the next 2 weeks, you happen to have the option to pre-order a Switch. Would you take that option?
I probably will, and it's going to make me pretty sad because I've already committed to playing Breath of the Wild on Wii U. And I guess I could cancel my pre-order and change it to I probably go into a store.
You said you're getting one for your son, right? So you're getting the Wii U copy for your son.
Yeah, well, I have 2 copies for Wii U pre-ordered. So I'd have to cancel one and then order the Switch one, which I guess Amazon would let me do that.
Mm. Yeah, for pre-ordering games, I think that every Amazon game every Switch game is still available on Amazon.
I'd say I'm 50-50. I think the temptation would be very strong.
Sure.
If someone said, hey, if you go here right now, you can get a Switch on day one.
But say, okay, let's say
I got a Wii. Thank you.
So what about, Switch comes out 1 week later, you're out at a store and you see one there at the store.
Then no.
Are you tempted?
No, because
you have Zelda, you only care about Zelda.
I have Zelda, I'm playing Zelda, and I've already gotten off the hype train.
Sure.
I can get on a hype train really easy and right off a bridge.
So, some more stuff that we saw with... is this a leak? I guess it's a leak. Because they're under embargo and someone is out there leaking information that we aren't supposed to know.
Yeah, the menu, the UI, or the setup, and an unboxing. Yeah, those are all... Pretty sure those are all breaking NDA.
Yeah. So, another thing that we saw that we found out with this... While they were they went through all this stuff and they went to go to format the system, is that we found that the Switch, your games that you buy on there, are going to be tied to your My Nintendo account.
And that's
yes!
And we found that out through this?
Through this, yes.
Okay, this was not something Nintendo said?
No.
So it's not just for worthless points that just went away last year for no reason.
Yeah.
Because in the past, for those that aren't familiar with it, even if you are familiar with buying games digitally for a Nintendo device, you haven't had the misfortune of having to move those to a different device, you literally have to have both devices with you in order to transfer information from one to the other. Mm-hmm. If you lose or you break one of your systems, you will lose those games on there. Mm-hmm. There are ways that you can go through customer service and you can fight them for days, weeks, months to try to get them to recover the things that you paid for. With this, I think it was Destructoid had it on there where it had the news of saying that it's tied to that, and then the little sub-header said, "Welcome to 2005."
Yes.
Because yes, this was with the 360.
Yeah.
This was tied. It was tied to your account with your 360 that you could easily, if something happened to that and you bought a new 360, if you signed in to through your Xbox account, you could re-download them. They had limits to what you could do. I think you could. Did they have limits then? I think they had. You could only have so many systems registered a year, something like that. All we know.
Either way.
Well, on a Wii U, you're only allowed to register your Nintendo account to one Wii U.
Right.
Yeah.
And don't you have to like deregister it from there
in the
before you can?
Yeah, which is a real pain point. In my house, we have 2 Wii U's, and
wow.
Yeah, it's like the only person in the world who has 2 Wii U's. Most people don't have any.
Does Nintendo come and stay at your house when it comes to town?
I would kick him out because the problem is, like my son's is up in his room, but he can never. He can bring his Mii, somehow, I think.
Yeah.
But his account's not tied to it. He can't roam. And I can't roam to his.
See, Nintendo's either the first person or the first to do something or the last to do something.
Yeah, seems that way. But these things that we've been seeing, I'm liking it all.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to see something on there where it's just sort of... Well, I think the problem is that Nintendo hasn't said anything yet. Where we're seeing someone else just tinker with the stuff before they put a game in there, before they actually connect to the eShop, before they do all this stuff. Where they're just sort of like, hey, they got a good thing set up here. And then they're going to connect and they're going to get the first firmware update. And then Nintendo's just going to drop the weight on them and be like, by the way, if you want to do this, you have to go through this and this and this and this and this and this and this.
Well, yeah, and I know how Nintendo got to this point, and it's all their fault that it's gotten this bad. I mean... The only reason they're here is because they took a chance on the Wii because they lost their asses on the GameCube, and it worked for them. And they probably didn't have the resources to do the whole Nintendo account thing right from the get-go.
Yeah.
But they were making money hand over fist with the Wii, and they should have corrected it within a year or 2.
I think the whole trying to do the account thing wasn't good for the Wii because of how weak its security was. I think that if they focused too much on that, I think they maybe foresaw that there were going to be security problems that were going to come about. That they were trying to fight as much as they could just to keep piracy off of it. That
we did that within the first year.
Yeah.
Thank you, Twilight Princess.
Yes.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what everyone had.
Whether they liked it or not. Oh, I got to go to Blockbuster. I rented Twilight Princess.
Yeah. I was like, why didn't you just call me?
I remember first seeing that quote-unquote glitch that you would do to crack the Wii, and it bugged the shit out of me. Because you load a save, and then you're in this place, and I played so much Twilight Princess, where you load the save, and suddenly you're in a place, and there's people around. I'm like, this is weird. And then you take a step backwards and that unlocks it, and then then the fucking Matrix opens up.
Yeah,
that I've always had this weird little kind of phobia with it, sort of thing, where weird glitches in games can just tickle me the wrong way, and that's one of them. Like seeing a game that seeing a world that I spend so much time in.
Yeah.
That knew very
well. That's why you need to start beta questing.
Yeah, you've brought that up before.
Yeah.
about looking at beta quest. Yeah, maybe it'll help me get over that.
Yeah, you'll get over it.
Yeah,
and probably have a lot of fun in the process.
So that's I'm sure we're going to be hearing more because I mean it's crazy. This guy has one. He has no problem showing stuff off. Maybe we're going to see a bunch of stuff this weekend. We're going to figure out everything about it.
But there's been 2 videos in this many days.
Breath of the Wild ROM is going to leak. Somebody's going to crack it. Oh my god!
Before the Switch comes out,
I am so. Listen, I got to say this before we move on. I am so worried for Nintendo right now because more than hype for the Switch, I think people really want to play Breath of the Wild. And I think because it's on Wii U, and now there is a really, really good Wii U emulator out there, people are going to be pirating this game. I think a lot of people will be playing a pirated Wii U version. Either on a Wii U, because it's so easy to crack, or on a PC at proper 1080p.
Well, why would you play it on a Wii U when you can play it on a Switch?
Here's
the same game.
Here's the thing.
Just buy the Switch.
I am heavily entrenched in gaming culture. I didn't know there was a working Wii U emulator.
Oh, it's really working.
But that's what I'm saying. I know a lot about video games. I keep up on video games daily. I'm not aware of this. So
hold my hand, Jeremy.
Point,
I'll take you to the dark place.
But I'm just saying that for that point,
we just came from there.
I don't think piracy of this specific game is going to be as bad as you're saying.
Well, I hope it's not, because I think that it's probably going to be worth every single penny that they're asking for it, and I'm personally happy to pay it. Even though I have a really nice gaming computer and I could probably play it at 1440p or higher, and it will be technically better.
Yeah. Anyway, back to some more.
Jeremy's just gonna ignore that.
Yeah. Well, it's just it's shady stuff.
Jeremy's like, gotta get a new video
I don't
card.
want to. No, I don't want to endorse it. Really,
please
Have
don't
you messed around
endorse
with
it. If you're listening to this is not an endorsement to pirate the game. Please don't. Yeah. Nintendo needs your money.
Have you messed around with Dolphin?
Oh yeah, for years.
Okay, all right.
And that works at 4K.
So you get like 1080p, yeah.
My current stance on pirating games is that if you are playing a game that is not easily accessible, that is almost impossible to get at this point, that is super expensive, I understand it. I totally get it.
Or if you've bought the game once at all.
Sure, there's that too.
Play it on another platform. Like some people will buy it on multiple platforms, and that's okay. But I think that's a license to, if you really want to play it again and you don't have the copy.
I was playing For the Frog, the Bell Tolls, which was a Game Boy game that was never released in America.
Yeah,
I was playing that on an emulator.
That Japanese
because
game.
I really wanted to play it. And there was they did an English mod of it. It's the only way that I could play it.
That's how I played Mother 3. 10 years ago, I played Mother 3.
I'm going to play it on the Switch when it comes out this year.
Yeah.
Don't tell me otherwise.
Nintendo does not deserve money for Mother 3 for as long as they withhold it.
If they seriously just release it with the English dub that has already been out, that was like crowd made or whatever.
I want them to use that. These people broke their backs to translate this ROM, and they even made a strategy guide that you could buy that was just like the Earthbound strategy guide that came in the big SNES box. They did the whole shebang. They broke their backs. So Nintendo needs to kiss their ass and ask them very nicely for their translation and release it that way.
But here's the thing. If they release that, if that is what they are releasing, if that's what took them this long to release, I will not buy it at whatever the first asking price is. Mm-hmm. I will be like, no, I'm going to wait till there's a sale. You don't deserve that much for that. I don't even care what the price is. You say, it's 99 cents. I'll buy it for 79 cents. Thank you very much.
Spoiler alert for Mother 3, it is the best fucking thing.
Okay, I was about to say, no.
That's your spoiler. It's the best fucking thing.
I'm not even through Earthbound.
Oh my God, that's the second best
I'm in the middle of, I'm still in the middle of my very first playthrough of Earthbound.
How far are you?
What's the fourth town?
Forside.
Yeah.
I'm going into Forside. Or is that the desert?
No. Forside is the metropolis.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm not even at that yet. I'm in the desert.
You're the third.
I've finished.
You can break it down into stages. There's One, Tucson. The third one.
I can't remember.
Threed.
With the crazy hippie in the cave.
Threed.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I did that. I finished that.
Threed. Is that what you said? Yeah.
I've said it like four. I've said it 3 times now. So yeah, looking forward to that. Anything else about anything? Did we miss anything with this? Switch.
I can't wait to play the goddamn Switch.
Yeah. 2 weeks. In 2 weeks from now. When our listeners are listening, it's less than 2 weeks, you lucky bastards.
I can't wait to play it in 720p.
On my couch.
Dude, that screen.
Oh, no. I'm not brutal about it. I'm just on my Wii U. I'm playing 720p. You guys can play 900p.
I mean, I remember
I'm going to play plenty of 720p. I'm going to be portabling that thing
on the
as much
screen
as I can.
when it's pixel for pixel. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah. 720p on that screen is
oh, you're going to be paying 720p
on my 1080p
upscaled
TV.
to 1080p on your TV on your Wii U. Yeah, got that. I was about to say I did my arguments about P's back in the 360 PS3 days. I don't want to argue P's anymore.
Yeah.
I'm on K's now.
Fancy laugh.
Yeah. Moving on, though, one thing that was announced today that blindsided, speaking of Zelda, speaking of Nintendo and all that, blindsided, I think, any longtime Zelda fan. For the first time in a mainline Zelda game, we are getting a season pass.
Yeah.
Now, this is not your conventional season pass.
Explain to me again why the summer one is necessary.
I don't think any of them are necessary other than the last one. I think if they literally didn't say anything, and then 6 months from now they're just like, this holiday season we're releasing this DLC thing.
Well, I'm glad they're saying something about it because it's a part of Zelda games that have been in there for a little while. The Cave of Trials. I'm pretty sure that they're putting it behind a paywall.
They are, and it's weird because
that makes me a sad panda.
Well, here's the thing: the cave. Well, no, there was a Cave of Trials in Twilight Princess. They had a second Cave of Trials that they added in the Wii U version. Yeah, so $20 for the what do they call it? The expansion pass. Of course, it has to have some different name.
Yes,
it can't just be the
if you call it Fast Pass, then you get sued by Disney.
So how much money are we looking at in total to get all the things?
It's $20.
$20, so $80 for the game.
Piecemeal.
I mean, I bought the Master
you have to
Edition.
buy both of them.
Yeah, I bought the Master Edition, so that was with my Amazon discount. That was only $80 for it. So I'm spending $100 on Breath of the Wild.
It's gonna be worth it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm not burnt by this at all. I mean,
oh no, see that's the thing.
I've been to the movies before. I know what it's like to get ripped off, and I'm gonna get like hundreds of hours of enjoyment out of this game for less than $100.
Yeah, I mean I'm a diehard Zelda fan. When they did Hyrule Warriors, I bought it day one. As soon as they said Season Pass or the Hero Pass or whatever they called it for it, bought it all day. As soon as I was able to. When it came on 3DS, picked it up on 3DS. As soon as they redid that and they told me, oh yeah, that money you paid for that one, it doesn't carry over. Oh well, here you go. Here's my money. As soon as they did this, I was just sort of like, yeah, here you go.
It's $20.
I'm psyched about what we're going to be getting in the holiday. Everything else, I'm just sort of like, yeah, like you said,
it's going to be
charging
better,
us for a trials.
Trials.
It's going to be better deal than Resident Evil 7. I mean, I spent $90 on Resident Evil 7 so that I could have the season pass and the game on day one, and it took like 10 hours is what it took for me to beat it.
Okay. Okay. So, Brian, have you ever purchased a season pass?
Yeah.
What have you bought a season pass for?
Mario Kart 8.
Okay, bad example for this.
That was worth it.
Yeah, that was one of the best season passes for any game.
Yeah.
It'd be great if they do something like this with it, where it turns out we're looking at this and being like, ugh, a Cave of Trials. They're charging us for it, and it's the most amazing Cave of Trials ever. It is literally like 5 dungeons stacked on top of each other.
And that would be great if it were a second Cave of Trials, and there is one in the game.
Maybe the original story you're playing as Zelda, and it is like it's like a 20-hour long story, something like that. That would be amazing. Maybe that Switch T-shirt that you get is actually not super stupid.
Yeah, and we will say no more of that.
Any other season passes though? Is that the only season pass?
Think so.
Dean, what about you? You said you got the Resident Evil 7.
This is a new thing for me too. I bought the season pass for Hyrule Warriors.
Sure.
Which was, I think, day one, probably.
Which is very, very, what's the term for it? I mean, it was a very good season pass.
That was the first time a game asked me to buy a season pass. It was $20 or something. I'm like, fine. And Resident Evil 7. I almost bought it for Doom, but I just didn't feel like spending that much money.
And that's all multiplayer, isn't it?
I
don't think anything.
I don't know. If it is, then I won't get the DLC.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's all multiplayer.
Yeah, it sucked too bad to play online.
Yeah, yeah.
So let me see. My season pass history. Of all of us, I've spent more on season passes. Well, I'm just saying. No, this is what I'm getting around to. I was a sucker for a lot of these ones.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I did the Hyrule Warriors one. I got the season pass for Saints Row 4 because I was so into Saints Row 3.
Is that the Get Out of Hell?
Was that
Here's
included
the thing.
in that?
No.
Oh.
This is the problem that I have with season passes. So I got that season pass, and then like the very first bit of DLC that they had out for it wasn't included in the season pass.
What?
So, and this is a problem with a lot of season passes. You'll buy this one, and then they're just sort of like, oh, that's not included in the season pass. When the whole idea should be you're paying this extra to get everything they're going to release. Like that's everyone goes into this thinking this is what we're agreeing to. This is what we shook hands about. Okay, that I'm going to give you all this extra money
for
on top
all
of this,
the things,
and I'm not going to have to worry about anything else. You're not going to nickel and dime me because we had an agreement.
Yeah,
that hasn't been the case.
If it makes you feel any better, I bought Saints Row 4.
I like Saints Row 4.
$2, I think.
I bought it for $60 plus.
I haven't played it yet.
Pass.
I
love Saints Row. That's why I was crazy about Saints Row 3 when 4 came out. I was super hyped about it. When they were like Season Pass, I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I didn't even play all the stuff that you got with the Season Pass because I was so disappointed with it. Because the first day that they released DLC for it, oh, it's not included in the Season Pass. I was like, well, fuck you. Some other things that happened with, more recently, I got the Final Fantasy 15 Season Pass because near the end of that game, I was like, I really like this game. I want to see more of it. I'm going to do this one because I want to hear these side stories.
And then you stepped through the shit wall
and then
fell off the cliff.
Yeah, and then I so far I've gotten the Choco-Mog Festival, which was bullshit. And then and then here's the thing. They have all these little bits of outfit and weapon DLC not included. There's a really cool suit for Noctis that I was just like, oh, I really like that suit. Do I get it? No. I have to pay 50 cents for it. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I bought the Season Pass. I should be able to get this.
How much was that Season Pass?
$30. So
you should be able to get all that stuff.
Yeah, seriously. And so far, I have not gotten enough for it. The DLC stuff has been delayed because I guess there was some copyright infringement from the Power Rangers. One of the DLC things that they announced was they were going to have these colored power suits that were like red, green, yellow, or silver, something like that. And it was like the Magitech power armor.
I can't believe they didn't know that Saban had rights to the color wheel.
But they put this out, and then I don't even think. I'm pretty sure it was like, it was the American side of it that was just sort of like,
oh goddamn,
you do realize that this looks exactly like something that we have a movie coming out for this soon, guys. Come on,
yeah.
So I think they had to take it back. I mean, when we see them again, they're gonna look completely different now. They're probably gonna be all different colors and all that. But that got delayed. Really disappointed with that one. Hopefully they fix that for me. This Season Pass, $20 for what you are getting. Day one, you're getting 3 treasure chests that can be found on the Great Plateau. Where?
Somewhere.
I mean, everything we've seen of the Great Plateau, which was like the demo area, you can spend 30 hours seeing everything there is to see on the Great Plateau.
You get a map on your prehistoric advanced tablet.
Maybe. So yeah, there's going to be 3 treasure chests.
That was a paradox. But
I was like, well, I've got to see this tablet.
Yeah, have you not seen any of the bits of
Sheikah Slate?
The Sheikah Slate, yeah.
Oh, I think you're talking about like a literal, like his tablet. He's gonna view a map on.
No. Yeah, Link's prehistoric advanced tablet.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah. So, of those 3 treasure chests, we talked about this earlier. One of them will be a T-shirt with the Switch logo on it.
I don't care. I'm kind of excited about that.
You are? Are you going to try
how stupid that is?
Okay. You're not going to play the whole game with that on.
I might. I would not put it past me. I know myself well.
The other 2 contain useful items.
Oh.
So, fish?
I don't know. I know with the amiibo stuff that you get on that, it'll drop a treasure chest. Mm-hmm. It's like a lottery.
They're gonna give you the weird Capcom items from those Game Boy Color games.
Oh, crap! I'm trying to think of one because there's 16.
Oh, are you talking about
Ages and Seasons?
Oh, okay.
And
I was
Ages?
Like, yeah. I don't remember.
No, it'll be Enzo the Hat.
Oh my god, I would love that. See,
pal.
That's the one thing I talked about. I talked about this when we were talking about Resident Evil before, that I hate fan service in games. I roll my eyes at any kind of fan service except for Zelda. That if any of those are throwbacks to other games, oh, I'm all for it. A Switch t-shirt, that's not a throwback to anything. That's an advertisement for a thing I just already spent $300 on. Thank you very much.
Here you go, Mr. Billboard.
So then the DLC Pack 1... So the first launch thing, it's not the pack. It's just sort of like, oh, thanks, here's a little thing to tide you over for the time being. Which will be coming out in the summer. Adds the Cave of Trials that Brian talked about earlier that we can't believe that they're charging us for. Like, this has always been a standard starting with Twilight Princess, I think. Or no, Wind Waker. Wind Waker was the first one to do it there.
God, and the first time I went into that thing not knowing what it was, it was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good.
I mean, you get your ass handed to you.
And like
you just
kept dropping, and it just kept going, and it just kept going. It was so good. I was not ready for it.
A new hard mode.
Yeah, fine. I don't.
Which
I
again,
don't know what
they're
that
charging
means.
for. I don't know. Are we getting a hero mode? Probably not. What is hard? Is hard mode going to be? Enemies are stronger, or if this is a remix? Now this is what I think would be cool.
That's what I was wondering, is if it just throws everything and like just shakes the whole box and then everything's messed up.
That would be awesome. I'm all for
I doubt that.
That'll be the thing that if I get that, I'm not going to touch it until 2018 when I'm going to be like, okay, now that all this stuff's out, let's start over. Started with hard mode. I'd be down for that. An additional map feature.
Yay!
I don't know what.
So I'm saying, like, a lot of people are asking, like, can't we just skip the summer one and only buy the winter one? And no, you have to buy them both.
It's a pack. It's all
buy
together.
both. I want it all.
After dealing with Hyrule Warriors maps, I don't want extra maps features.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say the DLC. I was like, you didn't get any maps in the DLC.
No, I'm talking about when you do the Master Quest or whatever, and it's just a bunch of blank squares, and it's just the map of the original Legend of Zelda.
It's just like
it never ends, and who ever beat that except for Gerard from the friggin' completionist?
Oh right, yeah, poor guy.
Yeah, poor guy completed it, and then now it's up to level 250. So
they just keep making it bigger and bigger.
Screw that game. I love it though.
So, then we have DLC Pack 2, which will be out in the holiday, if it doesn't get delayed. Like Breath of the Wild has been delayed. This will be out 2019. New original story.
Okay.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like,
very
okay,
interested.
This should have been the first pack, and then we get another one in the second pack. New dungeon. I'm all for that. Additional challenges. Now, I don't know what challenges are in Breath of the Wild. I don't know. Are there literally going to be places that you can go to and take on challenges like you would have in games where it'd be like you get to an area and there's like a pillar, you go up to it and it says, here's a challenge. Kill this many enemies in 30 seconds, get a special rune or something like that. Is that what a challenge is? I don't know. Now, they could do something really cool with this, and I'm confident that they will.
Yep.
I'm confident that we're not going to be playing as Link.
Okay.
That's what I'm betting. I'm betting that we're going to be playing as someone else.
Okay.
I don't. It's hard to say.
The wolf.
We don't know how it's going to end.
Wolf Link.
Sure. Why not? Why not?
The best thing about any Zelda ever.
So, what do you guys think of this?
I'm buying it, and I don't care what it is.
I'll get all of it. I probably won't even finish all of the DLCs because I have a bad track record of this. So.
Yeah.
But I will get wrapped up in the hype train. They'll give me the option to buy it, and I will.
So this isn't even the worst DLC.
Is it going to be on Wii U? All this DLC?
Yeah, all the DLC will be available on Wii U as well.
I hope they can commit to that.
I'm sure they will.
That's a hard endeavor to keep support going for something when you're moving forward to another product. I mean, just working in my business, having to support some of our older products is almost impossible. So to support something for a whole extra year that no one is buying and we don't even know how many copies they're going to sell, they better.
No,
that's what I'm playing it on.
They haven't canceled Breath of the Wild for Wii U. They have so many
I
opportunities
trust
to do
them.
that.
It's unbelievable to me that they're going to release DLC packs for a year.
No, I get that.
But
for the Wii U.
I do trust them at the same time.
Sure.
So
that makes sense. So I was saying before, this isn't the worst deal or season pass that I've heard of. Like, I remember even recently, the Arkham Knight season pass was really bad because it was like the stuff that they were describing. It was all like, oh yeah, there's all this story DLC, but each little story DLC thing was like literally like 20 minutes long, and it was so many people were upset with it. I don't think we're going to get a 20-minute long additional story or anything like that. That
would not be good.
No, that would be really bad. And this was, and
no,
they were not.
Good. They'll make good.
And I think that, and as vague as these things are, they are being so much more upfront than a lot of other season passes.
Mm-hmm.
That you'll have season passes for other games that are just sort of like, it's the season pass. You guys have been buying it up till now. Why do you need to know anything else? Just give us money and we'll make games. We'll make more stuff for it. So that's cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks, guys.
How long do you think they can support this game?
I don't think we're going to see any more support beyond this.
Yeah? Okay. Because that's kind of the trend of AAA titles these days.
I think it's possible that the DLC Pack 1 will have a couple other things on there that they didn't include in that. That as in the next month, they're going to be like, by the way, this is on there, and that'll end up getting more people to buy it. Because this is one of those things that you have people like us that are just so excited for a new Zelda that we're just like, extra $20, sure, that's fine. But you want to get the people that already bought it that maybe are a little salty about, what? Why isn't this already in the game? You're announcing DLC before the game's even out. You know, that's a bad practice that's been going on with a lot of games. And I think that this is a good way, that would be a good way of them getting people that already have the game, that have already bought it, a month and a half, 2 months after it's released, they've beaten it. If they still have it, then they can be like, by the way, we're actually going to have this with the DLC Pack 1. So then it's just sort of like, okay, now I think this is good enough. I'll spend that $20. I'm hopeful. God, I'm so excited.
I actually have a plan for March 3rd because on the Wii U version, there's 3 or 5 extra gigabytes that you have to download. Have you guys read this?
No, I mean, I don't. If it said anything about the Wii U,
you guys are going to get your fancy cartridge with all the stuff on it. So for whatever reason, there's another 3 or 5 gigabytes that has to be downloaded. I guess it just doesn't fit on the disc, which is fine. But I have to put it in, and it's got that shitty Wii U Wi-Fi connection. So I'm going to be bringing a wireless bridge and an Ethernet adapter into the living room. I'm going to have it all set up and ready to go, so when Amazon brings it to my door, I'm going to pop it in, and it won't take 4 or 5 years.
So this is basically going to be like the initial update?
No, I think it's the rest of the game. I don't think the content fits on a DVD.
Now, this reminds me of Xenoblade Chronicles X, which some of that team helped develop Breath of the Wild. In Xenoblade Chronicles X, they gave you 3 different options for download packs that if you had the room for it, there was like, I think don't quote me on this, but there was like a 1 gig, a 5 gig, and like a 15 gig that if you could fit it, that installing this would make things be so much quicker.
Yeah.
That the more you're willing to download ahead of time, the quicker the game would be. And they let you do this like a week before the game came out.
Well, if you order it digitally, or
no, it was like this is for like because digitally it's gonna.
So you can download it from the eShop, and then once you put your disc in,
once the disc comes in,
it's like a pre-install.
Yeah, it's like
well, that would just be wonderful because from what I understand, the download is mandatory. So
it's to get it.
If I could do that, I'll be really happy because I want to open my Amazon box and put it in and go.
Is it just to get it running at a good frame rate? You think?
No, I honestly think on Breath of the Wild it doesn't fit on a DVD.
Yeah,
and you have to download the rest of the content.
So what we're going to need to do is 3 weeks to a month from now, you're going to come back on the show, and if you hadn't already, I don't know, we're going to have to make time to hook up our Switch to like your TV downstairs because you've got a 1080p, you got an HD TV down there, and I want you to see it and.
So I got a Wii.
Point out if there's anything that's noticeable.
We'll have a Wii U.
Well, that's going to be true.
Well,
we almost want to do it on here because I think your TV looks like it's 720p down there.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's not 1080p.
No, that's definitely not.
So they would look identical, is what I would expect. But that's 1080i,
which is 720p.
No.
Okay, whatever. I told you I don't want to talk about P's anymore. I don't want to talk about P's and I's. You know what I mean though, right? I want to get someone because I'm not going to see what the Wii U version looks like.
A lot of people are not going to see it. I think,
yeah.
So
and I'd be interested in just hearing because I've heard people talking about it, doing the demos at comparing what they saw at E3 to what they've been seeing at the Switch tours that have been going on, and people have been saying actually that the Switch version is running a little worse than the Wii U version. So that has me a little worried. I still think it's going to be great.
There is a possibility of that because this is kind of a unique situation for Nintendo because the GameCube and the Wii and the Wii U all share a similar CPU.
Yeah, they're basically beefed up versions. You're just continuing that.
Yes, they're all power processors. Now they're moving to this. Now they're moving to an ARM processor, and it's totally different.
God, that is just the weirdest thing that they're going with ARM on this.
Got to make it portable.
I get that, but yeah, it's like. When you're comparing it, the whole idea of people saying, "Well, you got to be able to play Xbox One and PS4 games," and I'm like, "Dude, I don't think that's gonna happen."
It won't happen. It's gonna be exactly like when you bought Call of Duty for the Wii.
Yeah,
it's gonna be that level of relativity or divide between something like a PS4 and a Switch.
And I think that's okay, honestly.
Yeah, I don't care. I
think downgrading
if you're not expecting that with the Nintendo system by this point, then
yeah, I mean you have to manage your expectations. I mean, there's nothing to complain about. They make you understand exactly what you're getting into to begin with. So if they tell you, look, you're going to be playing this game at 900p, some games will be 1080p on your TV. There's no mystery. What is there to complain about? You just speak with your wallet. If that's not for you, don't buy it. But if you really like Nintendo content and you manage your expectations properly, you will have a good time and you won't be an asshole.
I do think that we're kind of past the point that we were 8-10 years ago when people were arguing about what it displays out. Like we were talking about the P's and the I's and all that stuff. Because you have something like the PlayStation 4 Pro that's out there that does the whole 4K thing. And people are checkerboard 4K.
Yeah.
But trust me, it still looks really good.
I don't doubt you.
And not many people are buying into that. And I think we're at a point right now where we can take a step back a little bit, and people aren't going to make a big deal because you're going to have some cool features to go along with that. You're going to have that whole portability thing. You're going to have the coolness of the little controllers. You're going to have all these little. Oh God, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm confident that the Switch is going to do well. I think they're in a really good position. I think they're advertising very well. I don't think this is going to be a Wii U case. Kotaku did a recent article of how bad the advertising was advertising and promotion of the Wii U was. And rewatching the announcement for the Wii U is painful.
Well, it got worse because a year into the Wii U's lifespan, they were doing those really desperate infomercials trying to sell the Wii U, which was like watching
Sega go down again.
Yeah, it was like watching an Atari Jaguar infomercial.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right.
It was way better than an Atari Jaguar infomercial, but it was that same level of desperation. And when I saw that, I'm like, I could see the coffin closing.
Yeah.
When Nintendo's doing a desperate infomercial.
They still had a 3DS, so.
Yeah, they had a 3DS.
It wasn't a Lynx.
The Wii U is still fucking
By the way,
great.
I just want to put this out. There was a game that just came out on the 3DS. This is I believe, a Nintendo first-party title. Digital only. It's like $8, so it isn't very significant, really, at all. No one's going to care about this. It's called Tank Troopers. Now, this was shown off. This was announced at E3. I think this was a little side one during the Treehouse stuff around the same time that we got, what was that Steam the steampunk game
Yeah.
that we got. I can't remember
Yeah.
what the hell that one was called.
Project Lincoln.
Yeah, something like that. This was announced in the same way.
Codename Steam.
Codename Steam. Tank Troopers was announced in the same way. This is a multiplayer-focused, tank-based game where you play against your friends. There's different tank classes and all this stuff. This game does not play online. This game is entirely counting on you and your friends all buying it, all 4 of your friends coming into a room with their 3DSs and playing locally.
That's asking a lot.
And this is just like, when I first...
That's
when
why
I
I
saw
never
this,
played Four Swords. Because
Yeah.
I never knew enough
Four
people.
Swords has online.
See, this is when you retreat and you play that hidden tank game on Duke Nukem for Saturn. Do you remember that?
Oh, God.
No.
We played that. There's a hidden Easter egg game
Oh,
in Duke Nukem for
okay.
Saturn with the tanks.
Anyway, I'm hopeful for what Nintendo has in store for us with the Switch. That's really all I've got today, guys.
Yeah, we made it stretch.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have much, and this is still one of our... This is average time for an
Yeah,
episode.
at this point, this is average.
If you're still listening to this point, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Be sure to tell your friends about it. One thing I want to point out is that if you're listening to the audio version, even if you're watching the YouTube video, it is still basically an audio version with an image over it. Tell your friends about podcasts, because I think this is a thing, and I've noticed this is that most people don't care about podcasts until you get them hooked on one.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to say listen to this podcast, but listen to a podcast.
Yeah, I was surprised. I've been listening to podcasts for,
Since the beginning?
10, 11 years, however long. And I was surprised when I found out, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, that other people don't listen to podcasts as voraciously as I do.
Yeah.
It's a thing, but it's, I'm not going to get into the demographics of it, but let's spread out. Everybody listen to them.
Yeah, because there's so many different things out there that you can easily...
We're plugging podcasts.
Well, I want to take this moment to plug podcasts in general.
Tell your friends about
Jeremy,
podcasts.
plug your
Podcast is an
favorite
idea.
podcast.
My favorite podcast?
Plug your favorite podcast.
I mean, I've done it before on here. It's the Easy Allies podcast. Second favorite would be the Comedy Button. That's not really a video game focused thing. It's with Brian Altano, Max Scoville from IGN. They do video game stuff, but this one is just them basically getting drunk and making jokes. There's also a few other people on there from other things that I only really know them from the Comedy Button. Really funny podcast. They do it every Friday. It's just really funny to listen to them ramble about weird shit that they remember from the 80s. Brian, you would love it.
All
you
right.
would really like
I
it.
should look into it.
Every episode is just them going off on a weird tangent based on some 80s or 90s movie that they just vaguely remember. What about you, Dean? You plug your podcast.
I would implore everyone to listen to NPR's Planet Money.
Yeah.
Go learn some shit. It's
Planet
really
Money's pretty
great.
great.
Planet Money is the best. Second thing, everybody should be listening to this right now is
This podcast.
Yeah.
this
Well,
podcast.
I don't know how you'd be listening to this without listening to this podcast.
We'll just skip to the end to hear the
But
plugs.
when you're finished with this podcast, check out the Washington Post's new podcast, Can He Do That? It's all about Trump and what he can do and what he cannot do. And it is so excellent. Just go check it out.
Wow, I do need to listen to that. It'll make waking up every morning not so scary.
It's 25 minutes long.
That's pretty hilarious.
Brian, plug a couple podcasts.
I can plug some dead ones.
No, well...
Are you going to talk about Retronauts?
If you go back and listen to old
Okay.
Retronauts.
Okay.
Retronauts is still going, and I love it, and I listen to it every week. But god damn it, I love those old episodes. The first 100 ones.
Oh, yes.
With Chris Kohler talking over everyone, and Scott Sharkey being an asshole, and Shane Bettenhausen calling everything his secret favorite, or the secret best whatever game. Old Retronauts episodes are great. Jeremy Parrish doesn't really want to be there, but he's still running the podcast. It's so much fun, and I'd say it's only 10 episodes long, but A Life Well Wasted is kind of a This American Life, Radiolab sort of look at video games and the video game industry.
You sold me when you said This American Life. So
it's and,
making a note.
Of course, This American Life is great too. But yeah, I like podcasts. The Dollop's
good. Dollop's good. I've been missing out on a lot of them. I just haven't been in the mood for those kinds recently.
I come and go with that one. It's pretty great. If you want to see dumb shit that I do on the internet, and mostly the dumb shit that we do while playing video games,
right.
I'm at Luigi's Apartment on YouTube. Just search for Luigi's Apartment.
You can also find more of us, basically just linking to these kind of things, on Twitter at JAVG Podcast. If you're listening to this on YouTube, you can find us on iTunes, Google Play, wherever podcasts are. If you're listening to the audio version, we do have a YouTube channel where we post this. We also break it down, and I do video reviews. I recently did a video review of a game called Limelight. I didn't talk about Limelight at all in this episode, did I?
Damn it, you did not.
Check out the video review of Limelight then. I meant to talk about it earlier.
I watched that review. I want to play that game. That game looked kind of fun.
It's so good. It's really calming. If you like puzzle games, it's just one you can just chill back and just enjoy.
You were talking about how it was interconnected, but watching the video and you see yourself zoom out, you can really see like how each little puzzle leads into the next one and leads into the next one. Yeah. It was really cool.
Yeah. Anyway, I meant to talk about it earlier, but I didn't. Check out my review for Limelight and any other videos. And again, thank you all for listening.
Bye-bye.
We will talk at you all next time.
See you.
We will talk at you.
We will talk.
We will talk down to you.
We will be talking at you next time.